Merry Christmas Eve! Indiana receives a huge gift this holiday season as the Cal quarterback Fernando Mendoza commits to Indiana.
You are Locked On Hoosiers, your daily podcast on the Indiana Hoosiers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. It is the Locked On Hoosiers podcast. I'm your man, Jacob Goins. I appreciate you being here, making this your first listen or your first watch every single day. We are the part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is your team every day. This is a bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers, so for those of you that had your notifications turned on, you're going to be glad that you did, because it's Christmas Eve and the Hoosiers are receiving big-time presents. The Cal quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, has committed to Indiana football. What does this mean? Is he quarterback one? What are we getting? We'll have that for you right here on this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. This has been one that's been in the works for quite some time, and this is one where he was on campus this past weekend. I heard nothing but good things about the visit. He really liked it. He liked the system, liked Curt Cignetti and what Indiana is building here, and I think it was vice versa, too. I think it went both ways, a two-way street here, where Indiana really, really liked what Mendoza could bring to this offense and to this program. And the Cal quarterback has committed to play for Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers. What is Indiana getting, you may ask, in Fernando Mendoza, the second Mendoza on the roster? How about that? In the quarterback room, that's got to be fun. Oh, Mendoza only threw 69%. That's pretty nice completion percentage this past season. Only threw for 3,000 yards at California this year. 16 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions with a 145 quarterback rating. Let me say those numbers for you again. He threw for 69% completion percentage, 3,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions. He also played there in 2023, where he threw for 63%, 1,700 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. So his completion percentage got better, his touchdowns got better, and his interceptions went down. And his yards got better. I would say he took a pretty significant step up from year one to year two. And when you look at Cal, okay, you look at this team as a whole, no, they're not going to blow you away in terms of their overall record. I mean, they ended up being under 500 this season, but under 500, they had wins over Stanford. They had wins over Auburn. They competed with quite a few teams, Syracuse, NC State, Pitt, Miami, right? Think about this. They did lose to Florida State, which is pretty bad. But Miami was a 1-point game. Pitt was a 2-point game. Those were both top 25 teams at the time. NC State was a 1-point game. Syracuse was an 8-point game. So if any of those go in any other way, Cal's not all that bad. And I don't think Mendoza's to blame here. Look at some of these, or listen to some of these numbers. You give up 39 points to Miami. You give up 33 to Syracuse, 38 to SMU. Offense didn't perform great, but I just don't think Mendoza had all the weapons that he needed in a California offense. If you were able to listen and watch today's full episode of Locked On Hoosiers, Brian Smith, our recruiting expert at Locked On, joined me for the show. We were talking about our new running back edition from Maryland, so be sure you go and check that out if you have not already, or do that after this episode. We talked a little bit about Mendoza because we recorded that last night and this news had not yet broke. And so we talked about Mendoza and why Indiana was interested in him. And it's because he is a system quarterback. And I say that with all due respect, with the most positive connotation behind that, because he is a system quarterback. He's not going to blow you away with the arm strength. He's not going to blow you away with ball placement on the outside, on the fingertips. Like he can do that, but that's not why you recruit this guy. You recruit him because he's smart, he takes care of the football, and he does what you ask him to do. He throws for touchdowns, he doesn't turn it over, and he just moves the chains. If you go back and watch that game where they went on the road and upset what we and everybody in the SEC and college football and everybody around, I mean, what people thought was going to be a good Auburn team, they ended up not being. But go watch that game. He picked that SEC defense apart with 4-yard check down, 6-yard check out route to the tight end. Just dump it off, move the chains. Dump it off, move the chains. And the ball continues to move. They go the right direction, and he doesn't turn it over. That's what you're getting with Mendoza. A 3,000-yard passer this season is stepping in to Indiana. And so the question now becomes, okay, is he QB1? Absolutely. He is right now. There's no question if he's QB1 right now. And that was probably a pretty big selling point for him to come in to Indiana, especially with big names like Georgia lingering around, right? You can go down there and you can step into a good quarterback room, a lot of talent around you, great coaches. You're talking about a national championship winning program, and you can go in there to compete, or you can come to Bloomington, who just made the college football playoff, did Indiana. They've got a ton of talent on the outside, going and getting more offensive linemen, a running back room that's going to be solid, and you can come in and be the man right now. You can come in and be the starter day one. And I think that was the selling point for Fernando Mendoza, the Cal quarterback who was committed to play for Indiana. As this recording, this was literally the news broke, 35, 40 minutes ago. So we're getting this out for you as quickly as we can. And so this is huge news, man. You pair him with what Indiana has so far in the receiver room, right? You're going to have EJ Williams. You have Elijah Surratt, Omar Cooper, right? You've got those guys who are going to be for your 2025 roster. I mean, you're bringing back some of your best receivers next year for Indiana, for Mendoza to throw the football to. Not to mention, remember Nowakowski, the redshirt senior transfer tight end, who is coming in to replace what we lose this year. So he's going to have some dudes to throw the football to. There's no doubt about that. He's going to have guys to throw the football to. Is he going to have an offensive line that can protect him? We're going to find out. I think Indiana's was solid this year, but in big games against Ohio State, Notre Dame, it struggled because of the talent differential. But folks, I'm excited about Fernando Mendoza, and you should be too. I think he walks in and he's your starter as of right now. But I'll say this, and I'll save more of it for another episode. Indiana needs another quarterback. Your room is okay now. You need another one for depth. 3 is good, but 4 is better. But Fernando Mendoza, the Cal quarterback, has committed to play for the Indiana Hoosiers. Excited about this and more to come, and a full episode later in the week. When we come back, want to give a quick Christmas message for all of you, my fans, my everydayers, those of you who make this show possible. We'll make it quick right after this, right here on Locked On Hoosiers. Today's bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a punch in the middle of the game, whether it be Thursday night football, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, Monday night, you name it, you can get it all on the FanDuel app or FanDuel.com. You can view live play-by-play and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Today's bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers is brought to you by the College Football Playoff. College Football Playoff continues to be the greatest event going on right now for around the country, really. I mean, you start looking around at what happened this past weekend, right, with all the first round games, and you've got more games coming up now. The second round is available for you, and we've got our matchups. Really excited about what that's going to bring, but also excited that we can be a part of it here with the Locked On Podcast Network. And again, you can check all of that out if you are around, and you're going to be able to check that out with the college football playoffs. Second round games coming up. You've got New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and then you'll have. Isn't it awesome that it's going into January, late January too? I know it screws up the calendar and everything, but it really is exciting for us college football fans. So be sure you're checking out the college football playoff, TNT, TBS, HBO Max. Be sure you're checking all that out for the college football playoffs. All right, here we go. Last segment here. Just a really quick one on this bonus episode of Locked On Hoosiers. Again, appreciate you all being here and making this truly your first listen or your first watch every single day. And that's what this little shout out and Christmas message is to you. Look, this has been so much fun and really enjoying this show, enjoying you, enjoying the interaction, enjoying the content. Having a great football team has made this so much fun, and the transfer portal is exciting. Basketball season's really starting to crank up. And so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has been here. I'm not going anywhere. Don't take it that way. Just wanted to say thank you and how much I appreciate you for liking our videos and interacting with our videos and subscribing on the YouTube channel. And for those of you on the audio side, I say that all the time, but it really does mean a lot that everybody is tuning in and finding this podcast, sharing this podcast with other Indiana fans and other college football, college basketball fans. So hope you have a very Merry Christmas. No episode on Christmas Day. We'll pick back up the day after. We'll finish out the week there. Then we'll pick back up the start of next week. No episode on New Year's Day, but we'll have it leading up and then after that as well. And then back to normal for Monday through Friday. 5 days a week, plus bonus episodes during the week, bonus episodes on the weekend. And reminder, this show is free to you every single day. You'll never have to pay for Locked On Hoosiers. All right. That's what makes this so great. Excited to talk more transfer portal, college basketball, you name it. We got it all right here on Locked On Hoosiers. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you folks. We are back the day after Christmas. All right. With more news, we're talking more quarterback, more transfer portal, and college basketball. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you from me. And until next time, stay safe, Hoosier fans. I'll talk to you later.